when we see that a vice president of European Parliament says in a personal way, okay, I'm supporting India strikes against Pakistan, then it becomes like an official position of the EU, which is not at all, but gives like this false impression of the EU supporting India on these consequences. So how come that a media that nobody knows about in Brussels is quoted in one of the biggest press agencies in India as an independent media, when we find out actually right now that actually none of the journalists exist? The principal findings of this investigation are, first, that we uncovered a 15-year long operation, which we called Indian Chronicles, because it's been designed to support Indian interests abroad, targeting two main institutions, the European institutions in Brussels and the United Nations in Geneva. How did they do this? They did this with a combination of fake organizations, fake media, think tanks, and all that kind of influence tools that have been designed, created and managed into the way they could respond to each other and create an artificial ecosystem of fake organizations that give the impression of a general support inside the institutions of the Indian interests and Indian political decisions. That's the first thing. The second thing that we found out is that most of these organizations have been accredited, whether in the UN, at the Human Rights Council as an ECOSOC organization, or at the European Union Parliament on the Transparency Register. That's the second thing. So they had a direct access to policymakers. I think the third thing is how, even after having exposed some of these things last year in the first report that we published 1 year ago, like, these organizations were able to come back in Brussels. So basically, last year we studied a fake media called EP Today that had been exposed, that shut down, and a few months later only, EU Chronicle is back, and it's basically the new EP Today, doing exactly the same thing with the same actors behind, and trying to influence and get in touch with MEPs on the same ways.
As a responsible democracy, India does not practice disinformation. In fact, you're looking at disinformation. The best example is the country next door, which is circulating fictional and fabricated dossiers and purveys a regular stream of fake news. Disinformation is practiced particularly by those who have records to hide, such as sheltering international wanted terrorists, including Osama bin Laden, and who seek unsuccessfully to cover up their own tracks, such as on the 26/11 Mumbai attacks.
This year we show that ANI has been playing a role since the beginning also on this, and because ANI has so many clients which are paying for getting the content syndicated from ANI, then this content can be redistributed to other fake local media outlets from the big news network or others. So basically, once the content is in ANI, it can be distributed everywhere in the world to all the ANI clients. No, we don't have any links on this. We just find it very intriguing, as we said, that EU Chronicle has this kind of fast-track reputation check from ANI, and that the same thing was happening with EP Today before. That's really, really intriguing. How come that if we want to fight against disinformation, we don't have any sanctions, or we don't have any consequences on organizations that have been exposed during disinformation? And with no sanctions, like last year, what we see is that actors come back and they actually don't care, and they have a feeling of impunity. That last thing, the feeling of impunity, is quite strong because Indian Chronicles revived dead NGOs, dead organizations. It even resurrected dead people. We've seen several identity theft into this operation. So it's really, really, really outrageous.